Okay.
Welcome, Wargamers. This is Doug with 2+ Stuff, and as promised, we are going into the Nova releases and talking about what Games Workshop has released today. So let's jump right in. We're going to move over here to the community page. And by way of preface, I did read this in advance. A little light on the Age of Sigmar stuff, but there are some really cool products coming out. As far as a company releasing and previewing like its full range in terms of all the side games and 40k and AOS, all those things together. First impressions, really, really great. I'm sure it was a great demonstration and show they put on. So let's take a look at what they got going on. They start off with Warhammer 40k, of course, and the Speed Freeks. I don't usually play the videos in here just because the audio doesn't always line up quite well when it's coming from the computer into the recording. So we'll skip that, but basically this is kind of looking like, if you ever remembered the old school game Gorga Morka, not the twin-headed orc god of AOS, but it was this game where you were on a desert planet in the 41st millennium, and orcs got in debate about who was better, Gork or Mork, and so they would yell, Gork, Mork, 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 and back at each other until they busted out into all-out warfare. It was basically Mad Max desert warfare, all in vehicles, very orky, and it looks exactly like what we have going on here. I'm sure they renamed it because, one, they kind of put a new spin on all the smaller games. Like when it first came out, Necromunda rules were made into, what was the 40k variant? I can't remember the name right now. It's going to kill me. But so yeah, Speed Freaks is the game. You get your two buggies, it looks like, a bunch of motorcycles. Yeah, your cool megabyte guy. Very nice looking. These are excellent models. I don't play 40k that much. I don't actually have an army right now. And this doesn't tempt me to play orcs because I don't want to paint that many dudes. I have Iron Jaws already. But these are excellent in terms of just like, look how crisp those lines are and the detail. It looks amazing. So kind of give some information on them. Moving into, they've been bit by bit releasing concept art and 3D renders and stuff like that of the Sisters of Battle for 40k. And now they're doing the heads. I think they did the guns at the Europe Fest, Warhammer Fest in Europe. So slowly, I think it's good for them to show how these pieces come together. Like each of these things is done individually. I think that's kind of cool. A lot of 40k stuff going on. Sisters Battle Rules, what we previewed. Your Night Titan guy, who we've been waiting on for forever, is coming out soon. Kill Team, which is something, just for the record, when we do move, I do plan on playing Kill Team and having it on this channel and doing lore for the various actual units that you can play. I don't want to do like all of 40k lore, but for the actual units that you can use in Kill Team, I plan on doing. And Mark from Rerolling Ones is going to help me make battle reports for it, so very excited. Basically their own War Scroll builder, and as far as I know, Kill Team actually does use points. They don't have a like a power level equivalent, and so it might actually be a granular point thing, which makes sense. So it's exciting. Return of an old comic. A few things here. Let's see here. Teaming up with a new artist. Yeah, more comics and art. And then we move into something a little more relevant to this channel. Warhammer Underworlds. If you didn't know, the game Shadespire as we knew it, it's not actually called Shadespire. It's called Warhammer Underworlds, you know, in parentheses, Shadespire. And so now the next season of that, I guess you would say, is Warhammer Underworlds Nightvault. And so there's a video here kind of displaying some cool stuff. And this kind of looks like a new complete starter set. If you didn't know, for Shadespire, you had to buy, well, it was highly encouraged that you start with the starter set, which was Stormcast and Khorne, the Reavers, Blood Reavers. And this one looks like Stormcast and Undead. I imagine it'll probably just have those models, a bunch of cool cards, and new boards. We know that they've released a new type of board for Underworlds where if you go on it, it causes damage that makes the terrain itself more deadly. Very, very cool. Let's see here. And they give us some previews. And so if you are a Nighthaunt player, these can be very relevant to you. And if you look at these, man, so we know that all Warhammer Underworld units, the models they make, get rules in AOS. This is going to be so cool. And so just looking at how much character is in these, I'm not quite sure what she is specifically. I assume she's just a unit leader and she still counts kind of as a Chain Rasp Horde equivalent. But if you remember the lore week we did for the Chain Rasp Hordes, or I'm sorry, for Night Haunt, including this unit, we talked about how the way that they spent their eternity kind of mimicked the way that they died, or a fitting punishment. And so you get cool stuff like this guy is perpetually jailed up, he's hanging from a noose, head missing. This guy looks pretty generic, but yeah, I mean, there's just some really cool stuff going on. I want to see this guy in the top right, like on a 360 wheel, because I want to see what's going on here with his arm. I don't quite understand. Looks like he's like bound to a shard of metal, or it could be like a piece of wood from like a sinking ship. That'd be kind of cool. And then moving down, we got some new, I don't remember any of the new Stormcast guys' names, but looks like the more elite mage units. And so it says they do offer a brand new system of magic spells, powerful gambits and attacks, actions usable by sorcerers. So it looks like some new mechanics coming in. So obviously, if you already play the Underworld games, you're going to want to buy it. If it seems like it's probably going to be a good place to start. Most of those usually are. And they got you a nice picture of the board here. I like this. It's very vibrant blues. I think the other boards were like a lot of greens and reds, if I'm not mistaken, I mean. But this all looks pretty good if you're into that. I just don't have time for Underworlds, and so, yeah, I'd rather play AOS. And they do give us a little bit of a sneak peek at another warband coming, which is awesome. And Squigs versus the Eldritch Horrors of a Time-Lost Prison. Very excited about this. This is our first preview of kind of a newly designed Squig, which obviously is aerial. They won't all necessarily be that way, but I'm very excited, and I think a lot of us are for MoonClan. And so, to me, like seeing this model plus the, what do you call them? Not the Harbinger, but the, whatever of the, what am I trying to say? One of the 4 models that came out when Malign Portent started. I can't think of their names, what they actually called them. The MoonClan Grot, the Cave Shaman, definitely solidifies to me that MoonClan Grot is coming. So that's very exciting. And then we get to the Age of Sigmar part, and it's literally just this. This is it right here. So, okay. It says, Nagash may have shaken the mortal realms with the power of the Necroquake, but in a place beyond time and space, beyond all human comprehension, ancient powers continue their eternal conflict. This video, which I watched, I'll just do a brief description here. You should watch it. Very great voice acting, but it's just a bunch of pictures of Slaanesh demons fighting Khorne demons, and then a female voice with some very cool sound effects going on about how our time has come. We will not be denied. We're not going to be pushed back. We're going to fight. And so it's clearly going to be demonettes, or at least Slaanesh demons versus Khorne demons. If you're going strictly by the artwork, I see a lot of demonettes, and I see a few bloodletters and the blood crushers. I didn't see much more else. Let me see here.
War has come.
Demonettes. Yep, pretty much it. And that's literally all it is. Just a picture that pans, and it says Wrath and Raptures. Now, wild speculation. My thought is that this is probably a minigame, where it's going to be like a self-contained board game. That's a cheap way to get a bunch of demon models. So there's that. Or some people have already speculated on Reddit that it's kind of the next season of AOS. So like, kind of like how the Rumgate Wars, and then there was Malign Portents. Maybe Wrath and Rapture is the next iteration of the game in terms of a story arc. Maybe. Again, the problem is this is our only AOS thing, like strictly AOS thing. And there's no information to get excited about. So, okay, we're moving on. We have the Middle-earth strategy game. Tell me in the comments if you are interested in Lord of the Rings. I have never met anyone locally. Like, I've never met another human being in person who has ever been interested in Lord of the Rings. So tell me if you are. I'm very excited to hear it. And they're talking about their participation in events, how thankful they are that events let to host them. And they're kind of giving, like, doing a a stamp of approval to let you know, like, hey, this is the kind of atmosphere that Games Workshop encourages, and those kinds of things, which is cool. It is really cool. Then we move into Warhammer Quests. And say one last thing you weren't expecting. From what I understand, let's see here. Warhammer Quest allowed you to visit Labyrinth, Silver Towers, blah, blah, blah. So it looks like it is a new RPG-ish game, from what I understand. I believe that's what it is. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, cooperative narrative experience. I believe it's an RPG game for 40K, which is cool because they don't really have many. I don't think I really been told about those. So let me go back here. Closing thoughts on kind of the whole release as a whole. Like, if you're talking about a company releasing information about all their products, this is clearly the big things are orcs. That's the biggest thing there is. Orcs and Underworlds, like the Shadespire Nightvault combo, are definitely the center stage in terms of the information, the pictures we get, those kinds of things. What I will also say is that I'm very disappointed about not hearing more about Age of Sigmar. And this is something that was kind of brought up by the guys on Warhammer Weekly, where there's so many smaller specialist games now where it's hard to get excited about things, because you might see, again, a picture of a mushroom and think, oh my gosh, Moonclan Grots are coming, and then it's like a random squig from a Shadespire thing. You're like, well, okay, but I really want Moonclan Grots. And though, again, there's so many things that rumors can be pointing to that it gets hard to get excited about something. I was desperately hoping for some information about Chaos Undivided or Moonclan Grots. Those are the two things I wanted. Got neither, and that's fine. You know what I mean? I'm not being whiny about it. What I would, instead of that, what I'd like to see is like this preview they gave us for Realm of Chaos, Wrath and Rapture. I just wanted it to say something. Like, what is it? I can't get excited about it if I don't know what it is. All I know is there's a female voice saying, we're tired of this. But I like to end on positive notes, and what I will say, barring the Sigmar showing, the Underworld stuff, Warhammer Underworld, these kits are absolutely stunning. I mean, I think this is one of the largest warbands, isn't it? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 of them. I think that's, if it's not the largest, it's tied with the other undead one. And I'm curious to know how they're going to play in comparison to the skeletons. So that's very exciting. I will likely not pick this up, but I'm very excited to see people's reaction to it. Again, it's just a game I don't have time for, but I love hearing about it and love hearing that people are playing it. So if you play Warhammer Underworlds and you play Lord of the Rings, let me know. I'm very curious. All in all, I kind of made a big deal about doing this video because I thought there was going to be more to talk about, and sadly there just kind of isn't. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be back to doing lore videos and such real soon. Thank you so much. Have a great day.